Ever since her statement only a few minutes after the verdict was given, Amber Heard has basically gone AWOL. But all of that has changed right now as the actress has finally gotten in front of cameras. And although she did have a lot to spill about how everything went down with the trial and the verdict, she actually admitted some things about Johnny that would surprise you. So, what exactly did Amber Heard say about Johnny Depp this time? It's been well over a week since the verdict on the defamation case brought forward by Johnny Depp against Amber Heard came to an end. And while the actress had basically been off the grid, she has now resurfaced in a new interview with NBC, being that this was her first interview since the results were revealed and the world basically became aware that she had been lying all this time. It was pretty emotional. The actress spoke about a lot of things, but one of the things that had a lot of people online interested was when she said some arguably great things about her ex-husband. In fact, some would say she was basically complimenting him. The statement came after the presenter asked her of her thoughts on how the entire thing turned out, and at first she was just speaking about random stuff like the evidence involved, but then she spoke about Johnny Depp and said this.
The trial, randos, as I say.
So you don't blame the jury?
I don't blame them. It wasn't, I don't blame them. I actually understand he's a beloved character and people feel they know him. He's a fantastic actor.
Without a doubt, virtually every person that has seen the interview is probably confused on why someone who had basically waged war on her husband for over 6 years while constantly lying against him would say these great things about him. Well, these things are nothing short of facts that several people who also took the stand during the trial attested to. One of the reasons this was so surprising to a lot of fans is because the actress's lawyer Elaine had been on this same show just a couple of days ago and said terrible things about Johnny and how he managed to rig his way into winning the trial. And now, her employer has openly tagged him a great man. Isn't that just shocking? Well, as surprising as it was to hear Amber actually admit that Johnny is an amazing person, that wasn't the only surprise that was birthed from this interview. Later during the show, the actress also debunked some of the other claims that her lawyer had previously made in other interviews. Speaking on the jury choosing to side with Johnny, of course backed by all of the evidence that was presented during the court, Amber admitted that she didn't actually blame them for the outcome of the case.
There's no polite way to say it. The jury looked at the evidence you presented. They listened to your testimony and they did not believe you. They thought you were lying.
How could, I'll put it this way, how could they make a judgment? How could they not come to that conclusion? They had sat in those seats and heard over 3 weeks of nonstop, relentless testimony from paid employees, and towards the end of the trial, randos, as I say.
This is in opposition to Elaine, whose plan of attack in all the interviews she went to was just to attack everyone involved in the case, including the jurors and even the judge. With everything that was revealed in the recent interview, it seems like Amber has finally reached the conclusion that she brought all of this on herself, and while there hasn't been word on whether she would be appealing the judgment or not, one thing that is certain is that Johnny won this fair and square. That's probably also the reason why several fans are also coming out to share their views on her interview. One user wrote, "You just know she's going to say all sorts about him. She can't help herself. The money for the interview is what's dragging her away from her baby. It's all about the dollar sign for Amber." Another user wrote, "Notice how Johnny Depp made a statement expressing his gratitude right after the verdict, and he has moved on and never talked about it ever since, while the first thing Amber does weeks after is an interview talking about it while she was the one telling him to move on." Of course, these fans are simply drawing a pattern in Amber's behavior, and if she does plan to appeal, she should probably consider the message her image has already passed to the world. How about you? Do you think Amber meant these things she said in the interview? Tell us in the comments section.